Hey guys, welcome back to the 7th class of chapter 1. All right, today we'll be discussing the circular flow of income. Okay, this is another integral topic where we decide what and how do people earn a living, and exactly how do consumers and producers produce and consume anything. Okay, now think about it. We all essentially, if you're a student, your parents, they earn, right? Or if you work at a part-time job or perhaps do a job right now, essentially you earn a living, right? So that you can buy others, all right? You can buy food, you can buy clothes, you can purchase an education. So that's essentially how the circular flow of income works. So essentially you earn, and the money you spend is income for someone else. Essentially, whatever you spend goes into the pockets of someone else, and whatever someone else spends goes into your pockets. Now, that is essentially the gist of the circular flow of income. It is not complicated at all. It is a model which illustrates how an economy operates and the reason it operates in the manner it does. Okay? The key concept, the core concept over here, one of the IB core concepts is interdependent. Okay, how everyone's decision, how everyone's spending is correlated to everyone else's spending. Okay, how everyone's actions in an economy are interconnected. Before we move on to the model, what is income, right? Now, we all represent one or the other type of factors of production, right? As we learned, there are 4, okay? Now, we humans, okay, we are labor. We are the factor of production of labor. If you look at the table over here and follow my cursor, essentially you will see that labor is a factor of production, all right, provided by households, which earns wages, all right? So if we work, we earn a wage or a salary, right? That is essentially what we earn. But there are other type of factors of production as well, right? Land, when it is employed to a production process, it earns rent. I don't know why it's written rent over there, but it's rent. So essentially, what is land? It is natural resources being employed in a production process. So say metal, all right? Metals are used in a production process to create perhaps pipes. Metal earns rent, okay? And the other type of factor of production is capital, machinery that is man-made, physical capital, right? What does that earn? It earns interest. It earns, essentially, when you purchase machinery or capital equipment, you pay, and then it accrues interest. The more it produces, all right, it produces income, and that income is known as interest. And entrepreneurship, essentially the factor that business people have, all right, to combine and manage the other 3 factors of production, it earns profit. The different factors of production earn different types of incomes, okay? And that is essentially what the circular flow of income demonstrates, okay? The circular flow of income is essentially the relationship between households and individuals, all right, and firms, okay? Now, we see innermost circle that households provide factors of production to firms, right? They provide labor, they provide capital, they provide entrepreneurship, and firms use that to provide households with goods and services, right? Because they are consumers. Households, the consumer over here, and the firm is the producer. But does this happen for free? There is nothing like a free lunch, right? Everything's paid for. Now, when households give factors of production to firms, all right, firms pay households, all right, income in the form of wage, income in the form of rent, income in the form of profit, and interest, all right? Now, what do households do with this income? They spend it on goods and services. They give the income they earn to firms and they buy goods and services with it. So we see that when households buy goods and services, when they buy products, they essentially give the firm money, right? But households also give firms factors of production. And for this, the firm pays the households income in the form of wage, rent, profit, or interest. But how realistic is this model? It's not that realistic, okay? Households don't never actually spend everything they earn in an economy. Why? Because of leakages. Leakages are those negative earnings which escape the circular flow of income, which escape the circular economy, right? Leakages essentially are those type of payments which decrease the disposable income of a household, all right? These leakages can be in the form of savings, tax payments, and spending on imports. When you spend on imports, okay, you give money to a different economy because you're importing a product from elsewhere. And that decreases the economy's circular flow of income, okay? However, there are also injections. Injections are the exact opposite of leakages, all right? Injections can be in the form of government spending. The government is also a decision maker, all right? It's also an economic agent. When it spends, it increases the circular flow of income. Investment is also another injection. When other economies invest and buy essentially products, or when they build stuff in your economy, that is called an investment, all right? And also a final injection is export earnings. When our economy exports products, when our economy, all right, exports products, why? Because another economy, a foreign economy, is buying. So essentially when a foreign economy buys, they are putting money into our economy. So we see that there are two forms of essentially payment changes: leakages and injections. We see that these leakages decrease and injections increase the size of the circular flow of income, all right? They either add, all right, or subtract from the circular flow of income. Now this is a key concept that needs to be highlighted again. Interdependence, right? How our payments, all right, affect others, and how our expenditure affects income of firms affects our expenditure, all right? It determines everything. Interdependence, think about it. If we spend less, firms, all right, they sell less, and thus they get to pay their workers less, and there is a decrease in the circular flow of income. Why? Because of a loss, because of a recession. However, when the government spends, all right, people have more money. Now, government spending doesn't necessarily always have to be the government giving income. It can be in the form of government giving tax relief, okay? Decreasing the leakages, all right, which is equal to an injection, right? When people have more to spend, they spend more by buying more from firms. Thus, the firm is able to pay more to its workers, add more profits to its entrepreneurs, and thus the circular flow of income increases, all right? This table is a summary of all the leakages and injections. Now, there are three types of actors who are responsible for the leakages and injections, all right? Financial institutions like banks, the government, and foreign economies. Now, banks are responsible for leakages because consumers, all right, normal households save, all right? They want to accrue interest, right? You must have heard about you investing in a bank account and you accruing interest in that account, and perhaps saving up for college, saving up for a new car, an apartment. That is essentially a leakage. You are decreasing the circular flow of economy. However, financial institutions are also responsible for investments into an economy. That's known as an injection. When a bank buys bonds, when a bank decreases or forgives loans, that's essentially an investment, and that increases the circular flow of income. And the government is the next form of leakage. It taxes, right? And taxes decrease the amount of income you have left. Suppose you earn $100,000 and you need to pay 30% tax, you only have $70,000 left. So leakages decrease the circular flow of income. Taxes decrease the circular flow of income. But when the government spends in an economy, like it produces highways, it spends more in forex markets, it buys things, it injects money directly into the economy, adding to the circular flow of income. Likewise, foreign actors such as foreign economies, governments, essentially they represent leakage when we import from them. Suppose you're an American, your country produces Ford, Mustang cars, right? But you don't want that car, you want to buy a Nissan, so you import it from Japan. Essentially, you didn't pay your economy, you paid a foreign economy, and thus it drew money out of the local economy into a foreign one. That represents leakage. Imports represent leakage. However, suppose a Russian person wants to buy your Mustang. That is known as an export because a foreign entity is paying you for your goods or services. That represents export earnings, which is an injection. And that is essentially the summary of the circular flow of income. It is a model which depicts how people earn a living and how an economy functions. We can map entire events such as leakages and injections to discern what happens. If there are too many leakages, people become poor. There is not enough income to go around. Okay? But if there are injections, we see that people get richer because their income increases. And that is essentially the main concept. We can predict if people are going to get richer, if firms, consumers are going to get richer, or if they're going to get poorer because of the level of income present in the economy, the circular flow of the economy. Essentially, that is the whole model of the circular flow of income. And that's it for this class. I hope you have understood this entire concept. Essentially, interdependence, please use this concept to understand why the decisions of some actors affect others. All right? How every person's decision, every actor's decision is interlinked to the others. That's it for this class. I'll see you in the next. Until then, good night.